Hey guys, it is me, Lighted Coasters, and today I'm going to be giving my review on the Intamin Prototype Mega Coaster Ride of Steel at Six Flags Darien Lake. This ride opened in 1999 as the first Intamin Mega Coaster. When it opened, it was New York's tallest coaster at 208 feet. It still holds this record today. The other stats of this ride is it has 5,400 feet of track, a height of 208 feet, a drop of 205 feet, max speed of 73 miles per hour, and has a 70-degree drop. These stats would put out to make a really good coaster, but is this ride as good as the stats would put out to be? I'll just be honest, no. And in this review, I'll tell you guys why I believe this. To begin your experience, you go through the unthemed switchback queue. It's pretty boring, there's nothing to look at, but you can get a few shots of the ride if you're lucky. You may be asking, what do you mean, if you're lucky? That's because this ride only has one train. It's not that they want to run one train, it's they only own one train. So no matter what, the capacity on this ride is pretty bad. So, after you waste your life away in that queue, you finally get to board the train. This train features 16 rows of 2 passengers, meaning it can fit 32 riders at a time. Once you board the train and the ride dispatches, you take an 180-degree left-hand turn before you start heading up the 208-foot tall lift hill. You don't really realize how high up you are until you reach the top and you're staring down at the lagoon. You then go down the 205-foot drop, which in the back row gives some pretty good ejector airtime. Once you reach the bottom of the drop, you bank to the left and complete a 90-degree turn before you go into this ginormous camelback. This camelback gives great floater for everyone across the train. Now you may ask, you've been raving about this ride so far. Why were you saying it's not as good as the sets seem? But this is where the bad part starts. You go up this little slope and go down this ginormous downwards helix. You may see like, ooh, there's good positive G's, but nope, there's nothing. Absolutely no force, you feel nothing. After this helix, you go into Ride of Steel's sadly most famous element, the ginormous amount of straight track. There is easily a good 1,000 feet worth of straight track here. It is insane. I understand the effect they were going for of gliding over the water, but they could have at least given it like a splashdown. They didn't need to make 1,000 feet worth of straight track. After this straight track, you go into another camelback. This camelback on my rides did not give me any airtime, but I have heard others say it has some floaters sometimes, so I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and just say I was unlucky, even though I rode on a hot summer day. After this camelback, there's even more straight track, but not as much as the last time, before you go into another helix, this one upwards. Once again, just like the prior one, it has no force whatsoever. Once you hit the top of the helix, you do an S-bend that dips down while you're going. This doesn't have any force, but it is a pretty fun element, I'll give it that. Then the ride decides to end with a bang. You go through an S-hill that has some okay ejector, and then you go into 2 back-to-back bunny hills that have very solid ejector. The first one does have a trim on the way down, but it doesn't hit hard enough to really affect the airtime too badly on the second one. After these 2 bunny hills, you slam on the brakes and then return to the station, ending your ride. So, overall, what would I rate this ride? I would give it a 6.5 out of 10. It's a very solid ride, but it could have done with some better elements. If you enjoyed this review, please subscribe. I post coaster reviews, off-ride, POVs, and more on this channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.